All right, hello and welcome back to the Spotter Stand. Coming at you this winter season, going to give you all the news and updates from how the season ended up, what we've been doing over the winter, and what's going to be coming up after the holidays. Good to see everybody. Once again in the booth with me, BSR Pockets and BSR Hot Rod. How you guys doing today?
Good, good. What's up, everybody?
We've got some special stuff for you guys this week. We're gonna kick it off as you guys mostly know. I went down to the Drunken Cow Jerky Factory this past Friday and picked up my prize winnings, a couple of trophies, and a whole bunch of beef jerky, courtesy of Mark and Richard Heyman down at the Drunken Cow Jerky plant. And I also did a quick little interview with Mark Heyman while I was there, and we're going to start the show off with that interview. So here we go. Check this out. All right, here I am, BSR Texan, in the office.
And Mark Heyman, Drunken Cow Jerky.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, congratulations on all your winning this year.
Thank you very much. I
We
appreciate
just
it.
awarded him the trophies for the 2 series that we sponsored him for, and a bunch of jerky that he's getting for the prizes of all 3 of the series he won.
Yeah, that's right. And, while I was here, I figured for the Spotter Stand, we'd get a quick interview. It's not so often we get to do something
Right.
like this. And, we could not be more blessed to have such a great sponsor
Well,
like
thank you
Drunken
very
Cow
much,
Jerky.
man.
And
And we couldn't be blessed with somebody representing us like you guys do at BSR.
We appreciate it,
all
yeah.
of it. And we look forward to 2019 for another great year.
yeah, it's going to be another great season.
Awesome.
And we're going to have another full season of racing. And, once again, we've got somebody representing every flavor, driving all the flavors that you guys
Even our
call it.
pet jerky. That's
That's
so
right.
cool.
Even the Wolf Bites, and
Yeah,
we'll
we
be
love
doing the team season. Of course, we're going to carry that on. That carries
Awesome.
on through the winter season and all season long. So
Right.
we represent all 6 flavors with all 6 different teams
That's
on that.
badass.
And, so here we are.
All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming out, Clef, and we appreciate you winning all those races.
Hey, I didn't win a lot of races, but I did bring it home in the end.
That's
so I
right.
did what I had
All
to.
3, first time.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. Well, there you have it. There's the interview with Mark Heyman in person, live down at the Drunken Cow Jerky Factory. It was great to get down there, and the second time I've been there to be able to see, their setup where they make all the jerky, meet with our sponsor in person, be able to talk with him a little bit, and absolutely great guy. I mean, he's just a great all around person, and like I said, they awarded me with a bunch of great beef jerky and a couple of awesome trophies, which you guys are going to get to see here in just a bit.
I tell you, it doesn't get any better than that right there. You got the champion, you got the CEO of the sponsor, Drunken Cow Jerky, right there doing an interview. That right there is what it's all about. That makes me smile. That's outstanding. I couldn't enjoy that any more than I did.
That's just like the real-time banquet, brother, right there. That's what that was all about.
Absolutely, and we are very fortunate to have such kind, gracious people as Mark and Richard Heyman and all the fine folks that work hard down there creating just the masterpiece of beef jerky that is Drunken Cow Jerky, and we appreciate everything they do for them. Like I said, we're very fortunate to have such good people backing us with sponsorship and all these in these races and league and series and stuff like that. So that's an outstanding thing. I love Mark and Richard. They are great people, and I'm telling you, great people make great beef jerky. That's for sure. And Cliff, let me. I always tell people about this. How clean was it in there?
Oh man, you wouldn't believe it. It's spotless. It is spotless in there. I mean, everything he's got as you'll see the picture where he took the pictures of the trophies and the jerky. It's on the big stainless steel table that they have right in the middle of their room where they bake all the jerky. You can see some of the ovens in the background, and man, it's spotless. It
They've got a
shines.
small fortune in stainless steel in that building right there, because stainless steel is not cheap, and that's what you got to have. And they are, I mean, they have weekly inspections. They have to do everything by the book according to the Texas and the FDA and the rules that they have to go by and everything like that. And you probably can't find a cleaner, well prepared, well taken care of facility that makes beef jerky than that place right there. I mean, I've seen pictures of it before, and every time I see a picture, I look around and I'm just always amazed at how spotless that place is. And so you can tell that they do everything they can to, from top to bottom, from the minute they get the beef in there to the even after service, after the sale, when you get it at your door delivered to you. Mark is always there. He's always a part of the process. He always makes sure that everybody's happy. He always takes care of his customers. If you have a problem, he takes care of it. He probably appreciates his customers more than any company in the world. I mean, that guy is top notch, and they do a great job.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was great to be able to go down there again, and meet with Mark and get the prizes in person. And I couldn't say enough about Drunken Cow Jerky and the guys that own it, and what great guys they are.
I can remember when Mark and I very first had the conversation about sponsorship. He told me, he said, this fits our customer base perfectly, because we're looking for, the outdoor adventures, the people that go to rodeos and car racing and hiking and all the stuff and all the places that you can actually carry some Drunken Cow Jerky with you and enjoy it while you're doing other activities and stuff. And he was very excited when I approached him about the sponsorship deal, and it's been a match made in heaven for all of us, and we really enjoy everything that they do for us.
Well, let's get on and show some of the pics we've got to show you guys. Now, this when I switch over here, that interview may start playing again. I may have to cut that off, but we're going to start out with a pic that was sent in to us from BSR Brain Fade. It was, I believe, for the Empire State Dirt Series championship that he won recently.
Yeah, that's another.
There we go.
Yeah, it's another great sponsor we have there. Voiles Trucking. Brian and Kathy Voiles over at Voiles Trucking sponsor the dirt segments of our series and league races, and they that's one of the things that we worked on is that when Brian and Kathy approached us about sponsorship, we set up a deal to where we could allow they purchased Drunken Cow Jerky as a way to support our major sponsor, our main sponsor of the league, and then in turn turn around and give it as a prize, and that just works out great. And I believe that's Chevy Chase's prizes right there.
Yes.
Oh, is that what that's Chevy Chase?
Yes.
It is. It says Chevy Chase right on the package.
Yep.
Brain Fade gets credit for a lot of things that other people do. I believe I've gave Brain Fade some of Brian Voiles' credit a couple of times, and now I'm trying to give him credit for some of Chevy's stuff. And I see Brain out there. Yeah.
He deserves a lot of credit when it comes to the dirt, because he is always a top contender in the dirt. So and I'll tell you, Texan, it's very easy to get confused with how much stuff that we've given away and to who and who's won this series and that series. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on here, and Larry helps me all the time with trying to figure out who did what and everything like that, because I mean, I get lost sometimes at all of the stuff that we've sent out. I mean, it's easy to do. That's how much we're giving back to the racers who support our league.
Yeah. I get lost too, Pockets, so don't feel bad.
You know, I was going to try to put together a little collage of all the prizes that we've given out this season because there has been a ton of beef jerky, a lot of plaques from Brian Boyles, several trophies, custom trophies as well. Yeah, I was scrambling to try to get this ready this afternoon and I just didn't have time. But if you pay attention to that top right hand corner up there above the main screen, that's going to be most of the prizes that are given out this season, with the exception of the ones we're going to be showing here tonight, and a few others of guys that
Yeah,
just didn't
they
manage to
haven't.
send pictures in.
There's something get out yet either, so it'll be
Yeah,
more
we've still
on the
got
next one.
we've still got prizes in transit, you know, being delivered and stuff. We're still just we've sent out so much stuff that we're still not completely wrapped up with the 2018 series you know, all the prizes and all, you know, and we're in the winter series. This is when our big special events take place, like the polar bear that we're going to talk about and everything like that. So this is just part of what we're wrapping up the 2018 season with here.
Yeah, I like the way Chevy has got these displayed here in the little rack like that. I think in the email that he sent, it said this was minus one bag, maybe a bag of wolf bites, I think, that he had already fed to his dog Monty. But yeah, a few bags of beef jerky, great looking plaque there from Brian Boyles. And let's move on here and see what we've got up next. This is a pic of my boomerang that I won in the boomerang race, sponsored by our own Aussie Bill. There were two other boomerangs, first, second, third, all won a similar boomerang, each one unique, hand carved with a unique paint job on it. And, you know, this comes straight from Australia, hand carved by one of the Aborigine. And, you know, that's pick of it hanging on my wall right there under one of my plaques. You can barely see the corner of it in the top right-hand side, but I couldn't be more proud of that. I mean, that's a great trophy right there. It's very unique. Only 3 of us got them, and there's probably not another one exactly like that anywhere in the world.
Yeah, it doesn't get any more unique than that right there, and that's just a you know, another factor of the great people that we have that come out and support this league, like our good friend Aussie Bill from down there in Sydney, Australia. He went way above and beyond to present something very unique, something very nice for the people who support this league, as just a token of his appreciation for us and all of us being together and having a good time. And we can't thank Bill enough for all he's done. He's a great guy, and that right there is just part of the things that happen here. You know, you get those kind of things right there happening, and that's it doesn't get any more unique than that right there. And I know that's will always have a special place on your wall of fame there, Texan.
Absolutely. Now let's check out some of what I got from my visit down to Drunken Cow Jerky, our great sponsor, Drunken Cow Jerky. This is the first pick. I believe this is just the trophies and the beef jerky. You can see how clean this place is too. Boom. Look at all those bags of jerky. I can promise you those are not gone yet. 16 bags of jerky. 2 great looking trophies, one for the Xfinity series, the other for the Truck series. And as you can see, you know, look how clean that stainless steel table is, and you can see some of the ovens back there. But like Pocket said, man, that place is spotless. And, you know, I can't thank Mark and Richard Heyman enough for what they've done for us all season long, and this great prize, these great prizes that I was awarded when I went down there on Friday.
Yep, that's the trophy for the Wednesday night Truck Series, and the trophy for the Friday night Xfinity Series. And Rick Craddock and Realtek, they provide the trophy for the Thursday night Cup Series. But all of those series, the main sponsor is Drunken Cow Jerky, and they provide jerky for all 3 of those. Rick Craddock is grandfathered in and has asked to keep providing the trophy for the Thursday night series. So of course, you know, we've got a little tradition with Rick, and he's always shown his appreciation by offering up a great prize for the Thursday night Cup series. And you know, you combine all of those, and I'll tell you, Mark and I have talked a lot, and Mark goes, that's not something that he just went to a website and picked up. He goes down to the trophy place right there, supports another small business like his. They're big on supporting local, buying local and local businesses. And he goes down to the trophy place and he has that custom made. He picks it out and he picks out something really nice to represent his company as the sponsor of our league. And that, I mean, just look at those. Those, you've got to be super excited and proud to be able to display those there in your home there, Texan.
Absolutely. You know, they fit in perfect with the few others that I have. And, you know, like you said, yeah, I'm proud to display those. I keep them. I've got a corner desk that I use to race with, and it's got some shelves that are sort of built into it. It's got some room on the top, and I keep all of those trophies displayed right above where I race every night.
Well, from the looks of it, you're probably going to have to expand your little trophy room there because you're starting to pile them on, and I guarantee it, you're going to have enough jerky there to last you for a little while, aren't you? That's one of those. That's enough jerky to last you more than 2 or 3 days, right there.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I'll be supplied. You know, at least through the Christmas holidays for sure, no doubt.
Well, that'll make Christmas a little more enjoyable and a little more merry. I can guarantee it. Nothing makes Christmas more merrier than some drunken cow jerky.
I've got a couple more here from my trip to the Drunken Cow Jerky factory. Here's a pic of me standing behind the trophies and all the jerky, and when you know it, I did put on my Polar Bear 500 shirt when I went down to make that trip, and it, you know, fits in perfect.
Yep, just you know, that's one of the prizes from one of our other sponsors, the Medicine Chest up in White Bear Lake, Minnesota, sponsor of the Polar Bear 500, our annual Christmas race that we kicked off again this year, and it's going to be an annual event. And a lot of people got that Polar Bear 500 shirt, and I'm sure they all wear it with pride, and just as a way to for us to thank them for being a part of this. And I'm telling you, man, our sponsors go above and beyond for us, and we can't thank them enough.
Oh yeah, that particular race, that was the 2016 Polar Bear 500, I believe. And
yes, that was the inaugural one right there. Yes.
RJ Rusty absolutely went above and beyond. He gave one of those shirts to every driver who participated in that, and it was 30 some odd plus shirts that he had made and shipped out. So way above and beyond in that event.
Absolutely.
We're going to be moving on to this year's Polar Bear 500 here in just a few minutes. I've got another pic to share with you guys. This is me and Mark Heyman standing behind the trophies there. You know, another great pic. Once again, it was awesome to be able to get down there and meet in person with our sponsor, get to have a little chat with him. Doing the interview was awesome. You know, these guys are, once again, just great guys. And, you know, it was great to get down there, get these trophies, and all that great beef jerky.
Yep, and that right there, that says it all. That's our champion, Texan on the left. That's Mark Heyman right there on the right. And that right there sums it up perfectly right there. We're proud to have a sponsor. And, you know, we always talk about that we try to simulate racing as best as we can, and this is a very important part of it. Is our sponsor makes this, it goes a long ways to making this a legitimate simulation of a real racing series and championship. And there's the picture to prove it right there. There's our sponsor Mark, there's our champion Texan, there's just some of the prizes that have been awarded to our champion Texan, and that right there is what it's all about. That picture right there sums up the 2018 season at Bomb Squad Racing.
Let's get on to some of the stuff that's been going on here in the Winter Series, we have had the second annual Polar Bear 500 ran this season, 2018. Once again, sponsored by the Medicine Chest Pharmacy and BSR RJ Rusty. I believe I've got a pic in here of the Polar Bear shop. Yep, right there it is. The Polar Bear shop there. You can see all the great concrete polar bears that they make and sell. BSR RJ Rusty once again going above and beyond, sponsoring another annual event here at Bomb Squad Racing, the Polar Bear 500, where we run 100% race at Talladega. That's a long endurance race, no doubt about that. You've got to be prepared. You know, it's one thing to come in and run a 40% race, or even, you know, the 50, 55, 60% races that we run on Saturday nights. But man, to do a 100% race and commit to a good 3 to sometimes 3.5 hours of racing all at one time, that's an endurance event. And, you know, we had a great turnout this year. Just about everybody showed up. You know, we had some good numbers and a great race.
Yeah, I think it's important to let people to know what the Polar Bear 500 is about. The Polar Bear store and the Medicine Chest are a business that was started and founded by R.J. Ruster's father, Richard Stunt, and it's been a business located in White Bear Lake, Minnesota, and RJ's father was a very sharp businessman, and several years ago he bought a company that made these bears because the town of White Bear Lake, Minnesota. So they bought that company, and RJ tells me that people all over town have these bears. It's just a way to represent their hometown of where they come from. And he says they even get into a little bit of a kind of a challenge of who has the most bears on their lawn or on their porch, and it's just a great way to identify and support their hometown and show hometown pride. And the Polar Bear store supplies them, you know, gives them the opportunity to purchase these bears, and those are concrete, solid concrete. They're not hollow. They are solid concrete. And I think he says they go from sizes of 6 pounds to 637 pounds. That's the biggest one that they have. And that bear is huge. And he says people put them out for lawn ornaments, just like I said, to kind of show hometown pride of their town there in White Bear Lake, Minnesota. And that is a very cool thing. And they, since they're solid concrete, they don't do a lot of online business because it would cost so much to ship a 50, 60 pound concrete bear. So that's mostly a local flavor kind of deal. And for the people who have been fortunate enough to get one of those bears, that is another very special, unique prize. And we love the uniqueness of these kind of prizes and these kind of events, and we're able to do that because of the great people and the great sponsors we have.
Yeah, let's see who got one of those great polar bears this year. It was BSR Poor Boy Roger Bevins in that number 24 Monster Energy machine that did bring home the victory at Talladega in the Polar Bear 500. And he did receive one of those polar bears from the Medicine Chest, or from the what's it called? The Polar Bear store?
Yes, the Polar Bear store.
Yeah, from the Polar Bear store and RJ Rusty. We do have a pic of Poor Boy with his polar bear. There he is right there. Got the concrete polar bear, and looks like he got a box of chocolates along with it there. And I was commenting earlier when I saw this picture about the knife. He's got the one single knife laying there on the countertop.
I said he probably used that to open the package with.
Yeah, that's got to be what that is. I know you're out there, Roger. Is that what that knife's for? You use that to open the package? You're not trying to send a message to anybody there?
Roger says, I don't have any hair. I've got a polar bear, a box of chocolates, and a knife. I dare you. I dare you. I tell you what, though, that victory right there was. Let me tell you something. You talk about a hard fought victory. That's as tough as it gets right there. Because you go back to simulating racing, we simulated a real 100% 500 mile, 188 laps at Talladega, and to walk out of there with that polar bear. That's got to mean something, and I know that it means the world to Roger and everybody that was a part of that event. Just had a great time. It was an outstanding race. I could not be more proud of the group that we had and the race that we put on. And again, we want to thank RJ Rusty and the Medicine Chest and the Polar Bear Store and Sun Color Photo Studios. All of those are right there in White Bear Lake, Minnesota, and that's a business that he and his family run. And you know, we are a family here, and that's his family business, and it's just fitting that he's part of our family, and he shares with the good fortune that he's had with all of us, and we really appreciate it.
That's top five. BSR Poor Boy, BSR Texan second, BSR Momo third. Nelly got fourth, and Mr. Pockets rounded out the top five of that race.
And I tell you, even getting a top five in that race is, a long race like that. That's something, we were talking about. That's over 4 hours of dedicating yourself to sitting in a chair and racing. And I think the race time on that was over 3 hours and 30 minutes. So that's 3 hours and 30 minutes of dedicating, concentrating, and sitting right there doing the best you can. And that's, we could not be more proud of the race that we had. That was a great job by everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe BSR RJ Rusty is also awarded prizes to second and third place. Myself and Momo, those are taking a little bit longer. They haven't gotten here yet, but we're going to do another edition here of the Spotter Stand when we finish up the AK Racer Winter Series before we move on to the actual series in February, and we'll have some more picks and whatnot to share with you guys then. Speaking of the AK series, let's take a move on and talk about what's been going on here in the off season with the AK Racer Memorial Series. Got a couple of picks here to share with you guys. So we remember Art Rogers, BSR AK Racer, great guy. He was actually a member of a real racing team in NASCAR, and some of these pics are going to show you guys what he used to do. And he was a great guy to race with. We always a lot of fun on TeamSpeak, and everybody here at BSR, we all miss him, and that's why we have the AK Racer Memorial Season every winter series. We're going to run these races, and remember our friend BSR AK Racer.
Yeah, AK was a very special individual, and we were proud to know him and proud to call him a teammate, a friend, a brother. I mean, he's a great guy, and I always tell people that he was our link to the real world of racing, because he was a crew member for a racing team in both trucks and the Xfinity Series. What they call the Xfinity Series now used to be called the Busch Series. And he's traveled all over the country. He's been to every track. He's crewed. He was a tire specialist. He wore many hats for several different racing teams, and he was just an outstanding guy. And we wanted to put this together every year in the off season as a way to honor his contribution to our league and everything that he'd done for us. And and we take time out during the winter series when we're not doing our regular season races, and we put up a series just to honor AK, and it's something that we all hold close to our heart, and we're all proud to be a part of and compete in. And you know, AK was a racer. He loved racing ever since he was a young kid at the dirt tracks here in Arkansas. He's the cousin of our good friend Tim Scarborough over at WLS Graphics, BSR Scar, our other teammate. And I'm telling you, that's just something that we hold near and dear to be able to do every winter. And it's just it's a lot of fun and a great way for us to remember and honor our good friend AK.
Yeah, here's another pic. Holding up it looks like that's probably a hood or a part of a hood. Got the Dodge Ram emblem on it. Out at the racetrack. Got another one for you there. I believe he was a tire changer. That is correct.
Yes, he was a tire specialist, and I think he started off his first team that he worked for was Bobby Hamilton Racing, and that's their Dodge. I think that's their war wagon or toolbox or something. But there he is with the Bobby Hamilton Racing Dodge Craftsman truck right there. He's in action. Looks like that might be Daytona right there, or I'm not really sure exactly where that is.
It says Texas back on the wall, Puckets.
Oh, does it? Okay, that's Texas right there. That's AK getting down to business, changing the tires under a pit stop right there. So that's why I say he was our link to the real world of racing. You know, racers love racing, no matter what type of racing it is, and his love of racing shined through here. Even in simulating racing, he loved this league. He loved to be a part of it, and it was a way for him. You know, he had to retire early from the real world of racing because of health issues, and this was the obvious place for him to go to get that racing fix that he loved, and he loved coming in here and being a part of it because it was a place that he could continue his love of racing. And we are so glad that we could be a part of it and provide him with a place to be able to continue his love of racing.
Yeah, I've got one more pic of AK in action here. Actually down on the tire there. I believe this looks like it's probably in the garage. You notice there's no knee pads. He doesn't got the uniform and everything on, but once again, working on the tire there. I believe that's that same Dodge Craftsman truck. Looks like he's working on the right rear right there at the time. And, you know, like Pocket said, you know, racers, they love racing, you know, and being a part of an actual team and, you know, then coming to race with us here at BSR. We were fortunate to have him, and, you know, it was great. Honored to be able to race with him.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what that's what the Winter Series and the AK Series is all about. Just like I said, a way for us to honor him, and we're proud to be able to do it.
We run two different series in the Winter Series. On Thursday night, we run in the Cups. We run the same schedule Wednesday night and Thursday night, so it's the same track, but it's going to be two different mods. We run the Cup mod on Thursday night, then we run the truck mod on Friday night. So even though it's the same track, it's a little bit of different style racing because you're in a different physics, Cup versus truck. You know, and we have some great racing. We've had 3 races so far this season in both series. In the Cup Series, we started out at Talladega, and it was BSR Nelly who brought home the victory at Talladega, the first race of the AK Memorial season. And then we moved on to Michigan. It was after Talladega. And in Michigan, it was at number 193 of BSR Ricky J who brought home the victory. And Ricky J also followed that up with another victory twice in a row. He pulled off the victory at Michigan. Then we moved on to Kansas, and BSR Ricky J pulled off the victory at Kansas as well. So Ricky Jay with back-to-back wins in this Cup Series, in the AK Series.
Absolutely, and I think it's important to note to mention that those series are sponsored by the Thursday night series. The AK series is sponsored by Voiles Trucking, and the Friday night series is sponsored by our good friend Tim over at WLS Graphics, BSR Scar. And as always, Drunken Cow Jerky is a part of everything that we do here. We don't do anything that Drunken Cow Jerky isn't a part of. That doesn't. They support us in everything that we do, and you get all of this combined sponsorship and these great people together, and it's just outstanding, the things that we're able to do and to give back to the people who support our league and our races due to the wonderful sponsorship that these guys give us, and we can't thank them enough.
Hey, Larry, I didn't even give you an opportunity there. Did you have a top 5 for us in all 3 of these races? Let me go back to the Talladega pick.
We'll start off with Talladega. Give me 1 second here. Talladega, Nelly won. Oh, it's taking a little bit here. What the heck? Okay. Maybe I don't.
Doesn't want to show you the results.
Yeah, not for the. Hang on 1 second. Kill here. Let me go but restart here.
Technical difficulties. See, we didn't plan this. We didn't plan for Larry to have top 5 for these. I just threw him into it, and now we've got technical difficulties.
I bet it's because I had the stream running. I'll bet that's what it is.
He threw Larry a curveball, and Larry missed it. Good job, Zach Saxon.
Hey, at least I didn't mute myself.
Hey,
Actually, my computer.
it's still early.
Let's try this again here.
Yes, these, while you're trying to pull that up, I will explain that these are 10 races each for a total of 20 races. We have 10 races on Thursday night, 10 races on Friday night. This is how we spend our off season. This is basically our off season of racing. That's why we call it the Winter Series, because, we never stop racing here. We always try to put something up for somebody to have. I mean, we're approaching next week. We're gonna wrap up 2018. We're going to take an extended break. This is probably going to be the longest break that we've ever had from racing, schedule-wise, scheduled races that we put up in the history of this league, because the way everything has fallen and people are going out of town to visit family and friends for the holidays, for Christmas, and we've decided to take a little bit of an extended break. I think it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 days.
Yeah,
We're not going to have a scheduled race, so that's something that we've really never done that before, took that long of a break. But these guys, they come in here and they race all year long. We have people who never miss a race, and we want to make sure to give them the time to take a breather, spend time with family and friends, catch up on some of their commitments that they've made, and just have a break. But we'll continue after the first of the year. We've got a couple of special events coming up that we'll talk about. We'll continue the AK series, the Saturday night team series. Battle of the Six Flavors never stops at Bomb Squad Racing. That's a series that goes on. It never stops. It's been going on since 2008. We are going to be starting season 36, which means
37.
37.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
37.
so when we get done with season 37, which is a 10-week series, that'll put us at 370 super speedway races in the Saturday night team series.
Yeah, and that
Since
doesn't count
2008.
that doesn't count the off weeks that we run and the meet and greet races that we run preseason either.
That's right.
Yeah, because if you figure in there are 3 off weeks that when we still run, and I still say that, until somebody can crunch the numbers and tell me that, this game came out in 2000 and I think it was like November of 2003. Bomb
2002.
Squad Racing, yeah, 2002. Bomb Squad Racing was a part of NR3. Isn't that the one that was before this one?
Oh, 2002 was before this one, and then NR3 was before that one.
Yeah, well, Bomb Squad Racing has been around a long time. I came around when NASCAR 2003 come out, and I'll tell you this: we have always had a super speedway race on Saturday night. So I tell people that it is the longest continually running super speedway series in the history of the sim. I don't know of anybody that there may be somebody who's run as long as we have, but continually week in, week out, we have a super speedway race on Saturday night. And that doesn't even count our series races that we follow the whole cup schedule, the truck schedule, and the Xfinity schedule, which means
now
that's
the dirt series that are thrown
dirt
on top of
series,
that.
yes. And so we run, well over 150, 175 races a year. I mean, we do 96 races just in the follow the cup schedule, truck schedule, and Xfinity schedule. And those are weekly events, and we keep points, and we've got a special way to keep points that keep people, close in the points where you don't have to show up every week if you've got commitments to your family or things that you need to do. But, that's part of what we provide here. We provide a place where people can come and get their race on, and we offer prizes due to our great sponsors and our great members who are always willing to pitch in and help out and keep this place running and keep it looking nice. And we appreciate everything everybody does.
Okay, I got that top 5 there, guys. It was Nelly with 1, the first race at Talladega. Momo second, Steve Looney third, Texan I'm sorry, I screwed that up again.
Magoo second.
Yes, Magoo was second. Momo was third. Looney was fourth, and Texan round out the top 5.
And do you have top 5 for us at Michigan?
Yes, 1 second. I got to flip over here.
You're going to let Momo beat you to it again. He had that typed up out there in the lobby.
That's okay. Ricky J won at Michigan. Monty Keller got second. Pockets got third. Steven got fourth. And Bama rounds out the top 5. And Kansas will be Ricky J with the win. Momo second. Texan third. Nelly fourth. And Hot Rod rounds out the top 5.
I've also got to look at the points here as they stand 3 races into this series. Currently, Ricky J with the 2 victories. He moved up 5 spots with that other victory he had at Kansas to take over the lead. Momo moved up 2 spots to second place, only down by 1 point. Myself, BSR Texan, sitting in third, tied with BSR Magoo for third place. Both of us down by 3. And Nelly rounding out the top 5, down by 6. Still very close up there, though. Once you get back from Nelly, you got Bama down by 8, Pockets down by 9, Monty Keller only down by 14, BSR Mayhem down by 16, Jimmy Dale down by 17. After 3 races, that's still pretty close. 1 point for the lead and a tie for third place, only down by 3. That's pretty close racing so far.
ATC Fridays will be better.
And I'll tell you that this series creates a lot of great racing because people want to come out. It's a very special series in honor of our good friend AK. And I can tell you this: I've been sim racing for a long time, and I've been fortunate enough to win some pretty premier events and couple of series championships, over the 15, 16, 17 years I've been doing this. But I'll tell you right now, last year I was fortunate enough, along with myself and the 38 Drunken Cow Jerky Hot Team to be able to win the BSR AK Art Rogers Memorial Series. And I've got a really nice plaque from Brian Voiles and Kathy Voiles at Voiles Trucking hanging on my wall. And I tell you, of all the ones that I've won, that one right there probably means the most to me more than anything because I was fortunate enough to win it. But there's a lot of racing that went on last year in that series. There's a lot of racing that's going to go on this year in the AK series, and it's not an easy task. You've got to it takes a lot of luck, a little bit of skill, and I'll tell you that's something that I will always cherish because of what that series is about, and to be able to be fortunate enough to win that series, like I said, that's one of the ones that I am the most proud of.
Yeah, and last year, those two, we did run two different mods. It's kind of like we're doing this year, but last year the points were all combined between all the races, so it was a total of 20 races. It was not like that was a short series.
Yes.
But you took the win in there. I mean, that was 20 combined races, and that's not easy to do at Bomb Squad Racing. There's a lot of great drivers, and that was awesome.
Awesome victory.
Yes,
That
was one whale of a feat he accomplished last year with the way it was set up last year.
And we divided that series into two different segments because of our sponsorship opportunities here. I was approached by Tim at WLS Graphics, and he wanted to sponsor a night of this. He asked me, can I sponsor? And I told him, I said, WLS Graphics can do anything they want to here at Bomb Squad Racing, and because he's the one that provides all of these great renders, all of these banners, all of this just artwork that he does to help promote this league. And I mean, you look at our renders, you go to the Bomb Squad Racing page on Facebook and you click on photos, and I will guarantee you that there is not anyone out there that spends as much time putting up, making really nice renders and stuff to just, that's a way to recognize the people who come in here and have some success and win a race or something like that. I can assure you they wait until Sunday or early Monday for those renders to come up so that they can see that's kind of their prize, to be able to see that they've accomplished something. And it's a major feat to win one of these races. I mean, nobody runs away with anything here. I mean, it's always real close. Like we were talking about all but the truck series this year, it wasn't finalized. The champion wasn't crowned until we got to the very last race at Homestead, Miami. So that'll tell you how close the competition was. I mean, there were 3 or 4 people who had a legitimate shot at walking away with that championship, and Texan was the one who pulled it off, and he was fortunate enough to do something that's really never been done before, and that's to win all 3 major series. So now that right there is just a feat that will be hard to be matched. He will be etched in the history books as one of the only drivers to have ever won all 3 championships.
Hell yeah.
But you tell me, Texan, how hard of a feat was that for you to pull off? I mean, let the people out there know what did it require for you to be able to win all 3 championships, get the golden helmet, the ring, the 2 great trophies from our good friends at Drunken Cow Jerky, Mark Heyman, Richard Heyman, all that jerky? How hard of a feat was that over the year? I mean, we start in February, we end in November. That's a long period of time to be dedicated to anything. So you tell us a little bit about your season and what all it took to pull that off.
Well, that one word you just used, dedicated, that's the first thing it took, was dedication to all 3 of these series, being able to show up, each and every night and run in as many races as possible. I believe I only missed 1 race all season long, and that was one of the truck races, I believe, or maybe an Xfinity race, one or the other. But yeah, that's the first thing it took, was the dedication to be able to show up, because it all boils down to how well you're going to do in the chase, because here at Bomb Squad, unlike other places that follow the NASCAR elimination rounds in the chase, we give everybody a chance to win. Every single driver has got opportunity to win the chase, and no drivers are eliminated at any point during the chase. So first off, it took the dedication to show up. I didn't get many wins, so I didn't get a lot of bonus points for those, but I did get my bonus points for attendance, and that gave me a little bit of an edge going into the chase. I also got a few bonus points here and there in some of the special races, like the Daytona season opener and the All-Star race. And once it boiled down to the chase, I was up there towards the top going into the chase in all three of these series, but it was very close. I mean, there were only a few points separating the top 5 or 10 drivers going into the chase. So I had to be dedicated and pull off, some good finishes. Again, I didn't get many wins. I don't know if I won anything in the chase, maybe one race, maybe 2 out of all 3 of the series, but the consistent, top 5s, and what it takes to get those is the seat time, and I'm lucky enough to be able to have a little bit of time here and there to be able to make sure I can get to the race when practice starts an hour before the race, and run some practice laps and tweak on my setup and just get used to the track. And it takes that dedication, and not only that, but a little bit of luck, because I was lucky not to be caught up in too many incidents and have any really bad races in the chase. And I think that's what brought it home for me. But yeah, it's not easy. I don't think I'll be able to do that again. And honestly, I hope nobody ever does it again. I'd like to be there.
I'm sure you want to be. You want to secure that place in the history books. And I'll tell you, you speak of dedication. You know as well as I do. You've had those moments when maybe a coworker or a friend says, "Hey man, let's go out tonight and have a drink after work," or something like that. And you look at them and you say, "Man, I can't. I've got a race." And then they look at you like your hair's on fire. And you go to explain it to them, and you never really can explain that to somebody who doesn't understand or who doesn't do sim racing, because they think, "Oh, he's playing some kind of video game." I will assure you, this is not. I was telling somebody just last night, this is not a video game. Mario Kart is a video game. This is a simulation of real racing. And I tell people all the time, the only difference between us and real racing is that our computers are our cars and our engines. That's the engine for our cars that we put out on the track. Everything else is as close to real racing as we can make it, from the rules to the ethics to the race. Everything is meant to be a simulation. And so that's the way we've designed it. And to be able to pull off a championship in one of these series is just, it is about the dedication. It is about showing up. It is about doing the best you can, maximizing your potential, having good luck is a lot of it, and everything like that. And so that just shows that you put together a perfect combination of all the things you needed to do in all 3 series over 10 months, almost 11 months, 96 races, 96 40% races. Those average between an hour and a half to 2 hours, not counting the hour of preparation, the 30 minutes, 45 minutes of decompressing after the race and everything like that. So it takes up a huge chunk of a person's daily life, 4 or 5 times a week to have the dedication that it takes to pull that off. And that just, that's just part of the things that you have to do to be able to put yourself in a situation where you can be called a champion here at Bomb Squad Racing.
Let's take a look at the Friday night. So far, same 3 races on Friday night. The BSR AK Racer Friday Night Winter Series. Friday night sponsored by WLS Graphics and Drunken Cow Jerky. We raced first at Talladega on Friday night in the Truck Series. And at Talladega, it was our sponsor, the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, BSR RJ Rusty, in that number 2 truck who brought home the victory at Talladega.
Yes, great win for RJ. Followed by Mr. Pockets himself. Nelly got 3rd, Texan 4th, and Jimmy Dale rounds out top 5.
And after Talladega, we moved on to Michigan. Michigan, yeah. And at Michigan, it was BSR Magoo that was able to bring home the victory in that number 144 truck. It was a great race there, and Magoo with the victory.
Yes, Mr. Magoo gets the great win. Nelly 2nd, Mayhem 3rd, Bama 4th, and Monty Keller rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, great win by Magoo, the one of the founders and the longest member of this league, Bomb Squad Racing, and that was a very popular win. Everybody was happy to see the 144 truck pull into victory lane. That's a guy who has spent many years, hours, days supporting this league and everything like that, and everybody was happy to see him pull that truck into victory lane for sure.
Yes, and the Kansas win was another fan favorite win.
Yeah, at Kansas, it was BSR SS Joba, another longtime member of BSR, and that number 56 Kellogg's Cornflakes machine brought home the victory at Kansas.
Yep, followed by Monty Keller, Momo, Pockets, Ring Fade rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, another great win by a great guy right there. SS Joba, longtime member, longtime supporter. That guy does a lot of stuff for this league. Everybody was happy to see that 56 Kellogg's Cornflakes truck pull up there into victory lane at Kansas. And I tell you, that Kansas, that is Joba's house. There can't nobody deny it. That's his place. That's where when he rolls up in there, everybody knows you're going to be chasing that 56 truck. And if you're going to win that race, you're going to have to beat him. And that's not a very easy thing to do, because many have tried and many have failed.
Well, we've got to look at the points in this series as well. 3 races in, and as Larry mentioned earlier, I believe it's even closer in the trucks right now than it is in the Cup physics. Currently, we have a tie for the lead between myself and BSR Nelly, both tied for the lead. Monty Keller and Magoo, another tie for second place, or third place, I guess, both down by 3 points. Brain Fade in 5th, down by 4. And look at that, Pockets down by 5. BSR Hot Rod down by 6. Then there's Mayhem down by 14.
User disconnected from your channel.
The top 7, 8, 9, again, very close in this series, and a double tie. Tie for first place, tie for third place, and then you've got down by 3, down by 4, down by 5, down by 6. Only 1 point separates the next 4 drivers. Man, I mean, you couldn't get any closer than that. 3 races into a series, 2 ties for the top few spots, and everybody else just 1 point to the next driver.
Yep, we head into Chicagoland next week as we wrap up the 2018 season. Before we take our holiday break, we'll line them up and race at Chicagoland for 2 races Thursday and Friday night, and add to those points. Some people will gain, some people will lose, and then we'll take a holiday break, and then right after the holidays, after the first of the new year, we'll go back to racing in the AK series and on our way to determine a champion for the second year here at Bomb Squad Racing in the Winter Series. And this series is going to produce even more and more exciting racing and a lot of strategy, a lot of people fighting hard to win that, because I'm going to tell you, man, everybody out there will tell you that AK trophy means that's something that everybody would like to hang on their wall, because that represents one of our close teammates, one of our close friends who's no longer with us anymore, although he is with us every time we fire those engines up. That number 93 is on our mind, and that's what's special about this series, and we'll continue to do it and honor him and continue to do what we do here at Bomb Squad Racing, and that's race.
Yes. I only got to race a couple races with him, Pockets, but I'm glad I did to get to run them couple races with him anyway.
Absolutely.
Now I know it's still a little ways off, a little over a month. We got about a month and a half, um, maybe closer to 2 months before next season starts. But one more thing I wanted to go over with all of you guys.
Well,
There's a race in between there.
we got a couple of special events coming up we need to talk about here before we got, you know, Brian and Kathy Voiles over at Voiles Trucking. They've started a tradition here at Bomb Squad Racing, and on the first day of the year, of the new year, is the Hangover race, sponsored by Voiles Trucking, and we've got that coming up on January 1st.
Yes, that'll be in the CTS Truck Mod, and that will be at Talladega.
And then Brian and Kathy also sponsor another race in honor of a longtime sim racing legend, Brian's father, Lynn Voiles. The Lynn Voiles Memorial Race is also coming up also. So that'll be another. That's a premier event right there.
That'll be February 2nd. That is also a Saturday. That is also in the Truck Mod at Daytona night.
That is another race that I was very fortunate enough to win last year. Last year was a big year for Team 38, DrunkenCowJerky.com hot 38 car and truck. We managed to pull off the win there at the inaugural very first Lynn Voiles Memorial Race. I got a nice plaque from Brian and Kathy for that. That's another one that hangs right there beside the AK plaque, and another one that I'm very, very, I hold dear to my heart, because I'm gonna tell you right now, Lynn Voiles was he was the master at racing. He was a great racer, been around this sim for many, many years, raced with hundreds and hundreds of people, and everybody walked away with nothing but respect for that guy. And so to be able to have a piece of memorabilia that said that you won a race in his honor, that's something that, you know, it hangs. I walk into my race room here every day, and I look up there, and that's something that makes me smile, and it's something that shows that this is, you know, this is more than just a pastime. This is a passion for us. This is something that means a lot to us. When you can walk in and see an accomplishment like that you've made, that means the world to you, and that's why we do this. We would do this if we didn't have any prizes.
Absolutely.
But to have one just makes it mean that much more to you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So after next week, we'll have the races at Chicagoland, and then we're all going to be taking a break for the holidays. The Hangover 500, is that going to be basically the first race back? Once we get back to racing?
Yes, that is the first of the year. That is the first race. That's the race we will come back on in the new year.
And then that week we follow up. We carry on with the AK series, and then that Friday night and Saturday night we have something very special this year. That, you know, we've gotten into dirt racing, and dirt racing has turned into legitimate series simulating dirt late model racing at tracks all over the United States, and we've run series all year long in the dirt, and that's gonna accumulate into the Dirt Track Championship, sponsored by Voiles Trucking. Voiles Trucking is our sponsor for anything dirt that we do. Brian is an old school dirt racer from, you know, in the dirt tracks here in Arkansas, and he loves dirt racing, and he wanted to sponsor that and start building that series up, and that series has continued to increase, and with the participation of people and the great fun that we have and the great racing that we try to simulate on the dirt. And we're going to have our very first Dirt Track Championship, and that's going to be all of the people who've run in the dirt series are all going to meet down in your hometown, Texan and Mesquite. And we're going to line up Friday night, we're going to line up Saturday night, and we're going to race some dirt races, and we're going to determine who is the best dirt racer in NASCAR Racing 2003 in the Voiles Trucking Dirt Series. And they're going to walk away with some special prizes again from Brian and Kathy Voiles, and we can't thank them enough. It's that kind of thing that makes these series what they are. You know, people are racing and racing for these great prizes. I mean, you know, we've had great prizes all year long, like the special unique award from from Steve Looney and Commander Board Signs of Alabama and the boomerangs and the jerky and just, I mean, the list goes on and on. There's going to be some I forget here, forgive me, but I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, I think we were discussing this earlier, and it has to be somewhere in the range of 200 plus bags of beef jerky that were given away this last season. And it's not over yet before next season starts. There's going to be a little bit more given away. And, you know, that's a lot. That's a lot of beef jerky that was given away over this season. You know, I myself have been a recipient of a fair amount of it. If you count the 16 bags I just got, it has to be 20 plus, you know, maybe somewhere around 25 bags of jerky. I've got this season alone, and I think just about everybody who races here has received some beef jerky through some sort of either a race prize or a random drawing prize, one way or the other.
Yeah, you had to have over 20 bags, Kill, because I'm pushing the envelope to 20 bags myself, and I know you won way more than I have. So
I'll tell you this, and this is something that I'm very proud of. I don't think that there's a single person who's joined this league and participated in this league who have walked out of here without enjoying some great Drunken Cow jerky, and that is just due to the great sponsors we have, the great people, the great racers, the people who are always willing to step up and say, hey, I would like to buy some jerky and give us a prize. I mean, we have members who do that just out of the goodness of their heart. You know, our buddy Axel Foley, he's done that several times. Our good friend BSR Magoo has given away, I don't know how many bags of jerky. The plaques, the prizes, the trophies, the jerky. I mean, we have given away more stuff than I have ever seen any other sim racing league give away on any platform. I mean, it's just due to the great sponsors and the great people we have.
yes, and that's not counting the racers themselves forwarding their own prizes to back in the pots. You know what I mean?
Yes, and
That
I
happens
was
quite a lot because there are, you know, like if you've won jerky recently and you're up in another prize and you happen to win again, just about every one of the guys, you know, like, hey, I recently won something. Let's forward this on to somebody who hasn't had any jerky in a while or hasn't had any recently.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason why everybody who drives here has been able to enjoy some of it.
That's absolutely right. That is why every person that has raced here has had the opportunity to get some of this great Drunken Cow beef jerky as a prize, and that says something, because we're talking about over 35 people here who have all been fortunate enough to get something that shows, hey, you know what, we really appreciate you guys coming here, because we understand without you guys we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't have anybody to do it with. So that's our way of thanking them for coming in and being a part of what we try to do here in Simulate Racing. And I feel pretty good about 2018 that everybody has walked away from here, with at least something to show for it. You know, a great prize from Drunken Cow Jerky. Who wouldn't want that? You know, and we're glad to be able to provide it for them.
The only person that I know for sure that has never had any is the only person we can't send any to.
Yes.
Aussie Bill.
Yes.
Well, don't you guys forget about next week. We are racing next week at Chicagoland in the AK Memorial Series. And definitely be ready after the new year, because once we get back to racing after this 13-day break, these are going to be some great special events that are going to be coming up. The Hangover 500, another long race to look forward to.
Brian Stagg's race,
the Memorial race will be coming up. We're going to be finishing off the AK series over the winter.
Yep, and then we shoot straight into the regular season.
And I'll tell you something real quick. Something that's being already in the works. You know, our good friend BSR Magoo has been instrumental in purchasing Drunken Cow Jerky to throw out into the pile, and he and I talked over the weekend here, and he is going to send me a bingo cage, because we're really going to start focusing on giving away prizes instead of, there's still going to be races that are sponsored by Drunken Cow Jerky, sponsored by WLS Graphics, by Real Tech, Rick Craddock. Those are still going to pay the winner and second place and third place prizes and everything, but we're really going to focus on giveaways as a way to show appreciation for the people who show up and race, who might not be fortunate enough or lucky enough to pull off a win. They're still going to have a chance to get some of this wonderful products from our sponsor. And I tell you what, for all you people out there who don't race or just happen to stumble across this and watch this, go to drunkencowjerky.com and place an order. And I promise you, it won't be the last time you order it. I've told Mark Heyman on many occasions, I don't know of anybody who's only ordered it once. Or if they have ordered it once, I promise you they have plans on ordering it again, because it is without a doubt the finest craft-made, award-winning whiskey and beer-soaked beef jerky on the planet. And if you don't take my word for it, you go order you some and you tell me how good it is.
Now, speaking of the new season that's going to be coming up, I wanted to go over with you right quick before we finish up tonight the bonus points and how they're going to work in the next season. It's going to be just like they did last season. I have cleared off the boards. These are the same boards we used last year. I've cleared them all off. The only difference between this year and last year is we had duels last year, where before Daytona we had 2 different duels and there were points given out for both of those. This year, the AK races, the last race of the season, those will be at Daytona. And we're going to throw in a race in the Xfinity Series, as well as the Cup and the Truck that are in the AK Series. So the AK races will basically take the place of the duels. So those top 5 finishers in the last race of the AK Series will all receive 1 bonus point toward their chase. And as you can see in the numbers up here, the Boyles Trucking Shootout will only be for the Cup Series, and only the winner of that race will receive bonus points. They'll get 2 bonus points toward their chase. The very first race of the season, Daytona, will be the same in all 3 series. The winner will receive 3 bonus points. Second place, 2 bonus points. Third, fourth, and fifth will all get 1 bonus point toward their chase. Then when the All-Star race comes up, same thing. The winner 3, second place 2, third, fourth, and fifth will get 1. As you can see, we've got segment 1 and segment 2 up there. Both the Cup Series and Xfinity Series have got 2 segments. They're divided up into a first segment, second segment. The winner, segment 1, gets 2 bonus points. Second through fourth place all get 1 bonus point. Same thing in segment 2. Winner gets 2 bonus points. Second through fourth all get 1. And we also do the full season, where we combine segment 1 and 2. And the winner of the full season will receive 2 bonus points. Second through fifth will all receive 1 bonus point, and those all go towards your chase. Also, throughout the season, any race that you win a race in the regular season, that will count as 1 bonus point. Now, if you win Daytona, you won't see your name over there in the win a race bonus point unless you win another race beyond that, because the Daytona race, obviously the winner of that gets 3 bonus points. I think we had a deal with that last year with Momo, where he knew he had won more than 1 race, but he was only seeing 1 by his name in that win a race column. That's because he had won a Daytona, and those bonus points are separate. He got 3 for that instead of just 1. So this is where showing up throughout the season and doing well. If you do well in some of these single events, you can add some bonus points toward your chase at the end of the year. And the segments, pockets, that's going to work. Is that going to work the same way as it did last year as far as attendance?
Yes, there are going to be some points. So we'll go over that again before the season starts to make sure everybody understands how we're doing that. There are going to be some bonus points for the people who make a certain amount of races basically the way this is set up is like I've always said, we understand that people can't race 3 races a night from February to November, like some of us are fortunate enough to be able to do. People have real world commitments, and let's be honest, this is a hobby, a pastime, even though we're very passionate about it. But I like to call this the leveling the play. This is how we level the playing field in between the people who can show up all the time versus the people who have commitments and everything like that. We've researched, we've done a lot of work, we've done a lot of homework. Myself, Momo, Larry, Chevy Chase, a lot of us, a lot of the admins here at Bomb Squad Racing have had many hours of discussions of how to make this competitive, but still allow you to be able to miss some races. And a lot of people are starting to catch on to this concept because it levels the playing field, because these bonus points are very important, because a guy that may have some commitments during the year that can't make all the races, he wins one of these special events, or he wins some of these bonus points. Well, that's going to be the points that he's going to take into the last 10 races of the chase. Basically, you are going to need to race the last 10 races of each series, the chase, so to speak, like they do in a real NASCAR. But you get to carry these bonus points with you. So you win a special event that pays 3 bonus points to win. That's like winning 3 races during the regular season. That's a huge deal. That's a bonus point and 3 bonus points that you get to carry in with you. And as you can attest to, Texan, those bonus points are very important, because when we get down to the last race of the season at Homestead, that's where it all comes together. That's you have to play out the hand and wait till you get. And if you try hard, you race hard, you have a certain amount of luck, you're going to find yourself in a position to be in that picture that you were in today. Now, some people may not be fortunate enough to live right down the road from the jerky factory, but that's what you've got to look forward to right there is that you're going to have your picture, and you're going to be able to tell people, and everybody's going to know that you're the champion of one of these series, and that's what it's all about. And these bonus points are part of that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the reason you'll see these really good points, like the 3 for the winner, 2 for second. Those are in Daytona races, basically. Daytona, Talladega. They're in super speedway races, because it's not you got your certain group of guys that are usually fast just about everywhere. But when you get to Daytona and Talladega, anybody in that field can win that race. So anybody has an opportunity to grab those good bonus points from the All-Star race, from the Daytona race, from the trucking shootout, the AK top 5. Anybody's got a chance to grab some of those points. And like Pockets was saying, as far as leveling the playing field, that comes into the attendance. At the end of these segments, say in the Cup Series, there's 13 races in segment 1, 13 races in segment 2. The way we did it last year, if you're a tagged member, in other words, if you have BSR in front of your name, if you're able to make just over half of the races, if you can make 7 out of 13 races, you're going to get 13 bonus points, as though you showed up to every single race going into that chase. If you're a non-tag member, we ask you maybe make a couple more, make 9 races out of 13. That means you can still miss 4 races in a segment and get the full 13 bonus points, as though you had showed up to every one of them. So that's how we level that playing field out between the guys, who are going to be able to make every race or almost every race, and the guys who, they have commitments, they've got family, they've got other things to do, and they can't make all the races. So, like I said, if you can make just over half,
there was more than half of the chase guys had made enough to get bonus points for the attendance.
Yeah, that's right. We had
all 3 series.
We had, like I said, more than half of the field basically is able to get full bonus points for the entire segment. So, you can miss 5-6 races and get a few bonus points in some of these other races, get your full segment bonus points, and still go into the chase, possibly in the lead. Or definitely not very many points down from the lead. As we went into the chase last season, there were 10, 12, 14 drivers, all within, 6, 7 points was the max difference. I think maybe 8 points. And, in 10 races, if you can make all 10 of those races, and really even in the chase, we allow one provisional. You're not, if you miss more than one race, you're probably not going to be at the top even with provisional points, but we allow one provisional in the chase for each series. You can miss one race, get last place points, and still be in there for a victory. So
Yes, and Mr. Craddock proved that it is possible to have a legitimate shot going into Homestead with missing a race and getting a provisional.
Yes, he always has a family vacation that always falls right during the chase. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's in talks with his family to maybe change that around a little bit to where maybe he can be and not have to rely on a provisional. But this is just our way to put a situation to where you're not at a huge disadvantage because you can't make a race. But we do want to give a nod to the people who are fortunate enough to make all of these races. But we've used the points to, like we said, level that playing field and close that gap between the people who can make a huge commitment and the people who aren't able to make that commitment, to where they can race all year long and still be a contender in the points. That is the whole secret, or that's the whole the thing with running a year-long series like that is that it does take a huge amount of commitment, and we do understand that some people just can't make that much of a commitment. We use the scoreboard to try to even that up so that, because there's nothing worse than wanting to win a championship and something come up in your real life and you can't make the race. You're not going to lose contact, or not going to lose the ability to be able to come back and keep yourself in the points. It's just our way to keep everybody close in the points. We use that scoreboard to try to accomplish that. And after 16 years, it's kind of a fine art that we've tweaked and changed, and there may be a couple of little tweaks that we make before the season starts. We always look at it and look at last year's races and see if there's some way that we can help that will help somebody maybe be able to be a little more current in the points if they happen to miss some races or something like that. But we're constantly working on ways to make it great for everybody. The ones who can commit the time and the effort, and the ones who due to other commitments can't make it. So it works out as the year goes on, and most of the racers here have caught on to this, and I think they really appreciate and enjoy how we do that.
And we even made changes for this year, Pockets. So this year was no exception. There's rule changes, or in the points, we have point changes for this year over last year.
We're never comfortable here and just let things, you know what I mean? We're always looking at ways to make things better. There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time and do a lot of hard work to ensure that everybody here, what we want is we want them to come in here and say, the way these guys do these points, the way these guys do their sponsorship, the way these guys willingly give out prizes for us just showing up. They'll have a drawing and give us some great drunken cow jerky. That's what we want. We want them to come in here, and we want them to make up their own mind that this is the best damn place I've ever raced. If they do that, then our job, we've done our job, and we constantly tirelessly work to make sure that that's the feeling that people get when they race here.
Absolutely. And this is the best down place I've ever raced. So, the only advantage that the guys who show up a lot really have will be in that right-hand column on the segments. Most of the drivers are going to show up to Daytona, to the shootout, to the All-Star. The guys who really have the attendance are the ones that are going to be in the top 5 in segment 1. top 5 in segment 2, top 5 in the full season. So that's
Yeah,
the
that's-
only real advantage those guys have. And if you look at those points, even if you have the same driver that wins segment 1, wins segment 2, and wins the full season, we're only giving them 6 points total, 2, 4, 6. So even if you have the same guy that wins all 3 of those, he's only probably going to go into the chase about 6 points ahead of somebody who may have missed almost half the races. So that's our way of rewarding. We like to reward the guys who can show up, like Pocket says, but not too much. I mean, we got to keep it competitive when it comes down to the chase. So, you can, like we said, you can miss almost half the races. If you can make just over half, you're going to get full bonus points for the segments, and you're going to be able to go into the last 10 races, no more than about 6 points, 8 points behind guys who have showed up all year long. So, I think that's a great thing. I think that's a great way we do it. I like to show up. I love to race, so I'm going to be at almost all of them. But I want the competition at the end, and I think the guy who makes a little over half the race, if he's in there and he beats me in the chase, and great for him. If he can make all those chase races, that's what it's about. Being able to let everybody have a chance.
I tell you this, the most I have ever seen anybody go into the chase, the first race of the chase, bonus point wise, whether it be wins or, and this individual was committed and he got bonus points for the commitment that he made, was 7. He was 7 points ahead of everybody else due to the bonus points going into the first race of the chase. And that guy did not win the championship. So that'll tell you that'll give you a perfect example of how we're trying to do that. So after everything was said and done over the season heading into the chase, 7 points was how many points he was ahead. And like I said, in that last 10 races, that 7 points slowly faded into other people having better finishes, getting a win and stuff like that, and to where he was still a contender, but he didn't win the championship. So that'll tell you how well we have tweaked it into making it level. Like you said, a guy can run every single race here compared to a guy that runs half the races here. And when we get to the last 10 races, it's, you know what I mean? There's no excuses in the last 10 races. We can only do so much.
Texan last year did not go into the lead with bonus points in any of the series, and he won all 3.
Yes, and so, the last 10 races, basically all we're requiring you to do is to make a commitment to those last 10 races. And, you're going to want to show up and make sure that you get the maximum number of bonus points. But hey, you don't have to come to every race to get the maximum number of bonus points for attendance. We're going to tell you where the number is. That way you can say, hey, I mean, even if you come home from work and you're just tired and you don't want to race, hey, burn one. You can burn one. You've got something to burn there, because we understand that it is a huge commitment, and some people, you may have a bad day and just not want to race. We take that into consideration. We try to take everything that we can into consideration so that when we get to those last 10 races, you're ready to race and you're a contender for the championship. I mean, we had 20 people contending for a championship going into the first race of the chase this year. So that tells us that our system works perfectly, but we never stop looking, we never stop working to try to make things better for the people who choose to race here.
Let's take a quick look at these other 2 boards. I don't think there's much left to explain. Here is your Xfinity Series bonus point board. Basically, the only difference here and in the Cup is there is no shootout. Everything else exactly the same. You've got the AK points, the Daytona points, the All-Star points, and your segment and full season points. So exactly the same as the Cup, minus the shootout bonus points. And when we move over to the Truck Series, the basic difference here is there is only one segment. The truck season is a much shorter season than the Cup and the Xfinity. The Xfinity is a few races short. I believe those, instead of 13 races per segment, are only 11,
11 and
races.
12.
11 and
11
12.
and 12.
Yeah, and then the truck series, I believe, is a 13 race,
Yes, 13.
13 race segment, because we like to have 10 race chase in all three of the series. So the truck chase starts a little earlier than the other two by a week or so, but we run a 10 race chase in all three series: truck, Xfinity, and Cup. And basically, the only difference here, like I said, on the truck is, once again, you don't have a shootout bonus points, and you don't have a segment 2 and an overall. You just got the Daytona, the All-Star, and the segment 1. And again, win a race in any regular scheduled season race gets you 1 bonus point. And we'll visit this again before the season starts, and we'll go over it one more time and get it all honed out. I'm sure everybody's familiar with it from last season. There hasn't really been much that's changed other than the duels being now the last race of the AK, and instead of just being in the Cup, it's going to be in all three series. So I'm looking forward to another season of racing. I'm looking forward to getting through this holiday season, and I'm looking forward to the Hangover 500, the Lynn Bulls Memorial, the rest of the AK series, and we're gonna. Can you guys believe it? We're through the 2018 season of racing, and we're going to be moving on to another full season. The excitement that comes with starting a fresh season of racing.
Unbelievable. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, we do a lot of racing here. We spend a lot of time doing this, and I just said the other night, I was speaking to a couple of guys, and I was explaining to them how much time Larry spends in here tweaking around on those points, and the discussions that we have, and the hours that we spend trying to make this a great place for everybody to race. And I will tell you this is an invitation only, not for profit league. We're only able to do this because of our great sponsorships. But when we say this is an invitation only, what that means is there's not anybody going to come out there and tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, we would like to invite you to this league. If you want to race here, contact the Bomb Squad Racing page at Facebook, and we will tell you the eligibility requirements and what is required to become a racer in this series. And we will give you a tryout to see if you're going to fit in with what we got. I will tell you this isn't a video game, and this isn't some fly-by-night league. We've been here since the day they turned this sim on, since before they turned this sim on. And if you are looking for real simulated racing with real points, real series, real schedules, real prizes, real sponsors, and great people, this is where you need to be. But you're going to have to make the effort to, number one, be the caliber of person that we're going to let in here. And you have to make the commitment to try to reach out and try to earn a spot into this league, because this league is not open to the public. This is a closed group. This is an invitation only, not for profit league. If you want to be a part of it, send us a message and we'll talk.
Yeah, the camaraderie is a big deal, and sometimes it may seem hard for a new driver coming into a league where they may not know many people, and it may seem a little awkward, but it's a great group of guys, great group of people, and the biggest deal is wrecks and accidents. Yeah, sportsmanship. Wrecks are going to happen. Accidents are going to happen. We all get upset from time to time, but being able to shrug that off, being able to, apologize when you make a mistake and you cause somebody else a bad night. Just being able to get along and not have animosity every week. That's the biggest part of it. Being a good racer is one thing, and that's great, and we enjoy having all the the great drivers that we do, and the great competition we have. But sportsmanship is more than anything a big deal at this league. Just like I said, being able to admit your mistakes, being able to shrug it off when somebody else's mistake cost you a bad race. That's the biggest part of being able to fit in here at Bomb Squad Racing.
Yeah, and we're not ever going to ask you to do something that every single person in this league has not been required to do. If sportsmanship doesn't mean anything to you, there is a slew of leagues out there in NASCAR Racing 2003 that will be perfect for you, but this is not the place. Sportsmanship, good, clean racing, you'll be treated fairly, and you will be rewarded for being a good sport and being a racer in this league, I will assure you.
And you don't have to worry about being a great driver or being super comfortable with open sets. These guys will take care of you. They will help you become a better racer. They will help you with setups. Trust me. I've been there.
That's
I
very
started-
important. It's very important that you said that, because what I always tell people is that you don't have to be a great racer because all you have to be is a great sportsman, because we can make you a better racer, but we would have a hard time making you be a better sportsman. If that sounds like something that fits you to a T, knock on the door and see who answers.
Yes, because and I'm a prime example of that, Pockets. I never ran an open set in my life till I came over here, and I wasn't the greatest racer in the world. I'm still not a really great racer. I'm pretty good, but not great. And I'm working my way around running with open sets, and I've been in here pretty good, I think.
I think you do too. And like I said, we have people that run in this league who did exactly what I said. They had the balls to message the page and see that they had seen what we were doing, and they wanted to race here. They messaged the page and they found out, what does it take to race here? And I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. I mean, there's some commitments that you have to make as far as the eligibility requirements, because we don't let just anyone race here. I mean, we try to pick the best people, because the best people make the best group. Some people just, I hate to say it, they're just not going to measure up, and it doesn't have anything to do with driving ability. It has to do with the type of people they are, the kind of comments that they make, and stuff like that shine a bad light on any league that they race at. Those people have a place to race. It's just not here. If you're not one of those people, then you probably would fit in very well here if you understand that concept.
Now, one thing I'd like to do before we get out of here, I know we played it earlier, but I'd like to revisit this interview with Mark Heyman at Drunken Cow Jerky. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to play this one more time for you guys right quick.
Please do.
Yes, that was great.
All right, here I am, BSR Texan, in the office.
And Mark Heyman, Drunken Cow Jerky.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, congratulations on all your winning this
Thank you,
year.
man. Thank you very much. I
We
appreciate
just
it.
awarded him the trophies for the 2 series that we sponsored him for, and a bunch of jerky that he's getting for the prizes of all 3 of the series he won.
Yeah, that's right. And, while I was here, I figured for the spotter stand, we'd get a quick interview. It's not so often we get to do something
Right.
like this. And, we could not be more blessed to have such a great sponsor
Well,
like
thank you
Drunken
very
Cow
much,
Jerky.
man.
And
And we couldn't be blessed with somebody representing us like you guys do at BSR.
We appreciate it,
all of
yeah.
it. And we look forward to 2019 for another great year.
yeah, it's going to be another great season,
Awesome.
and we're going to have another full season of racing. And once again, we've got somebody representing every flavor, driving all the flavors of you guys.
Even our
cars.
pet jerky. That's
right.
so cool.
Even the Wolf Bites, and
Yeah,
we'll
we
be
love
doing the team season. Of course, we're going to carry that on. That carries
Awesome.
on through the winter season and all season long. So
Right.
we represent all 6 flavors with all 6 different teams
That's
on that.
badass.
And, so here we are.
All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming out, Clef, and we appreciate you winning all those races.
Hey, I didn't win a lot of races, but I did bring it home in the end.
That's
I
right.
did what I had
All
to.
3, first time.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, there we go. Well, it's one thing I noticed in there. I said the team season instead of the team series.
Well, it's ten races, and that is a season, and then we just do 10 races, and so it's a season series. That's not that much of a misstep there, but I tell you, and that just I'll probably end up watching this. I don't know, 20 or 30 times because, and I'll tell you something else that needs to be mentioned. We've done this, and I've lost count, but I was having a talk with Tex, and I said, have we really done a spotter stand for every single race? And he said, absolutely. Every one of them's here on YouTube. So you can go back and look at those. And I mean, that is, as far as I know, if you put something on YouTube, it'll be there 100 years from now, as long as YouTube's still there. So that's pretty special and unique and that's just part of the dedication and the commitment that these guys like Texan and Larry have to be able to just do that little something extra that sets us apart from other leagues, so that the guys that race here can click on this and watch it and maybe see a render of themselves winning a race or get their name mentioned or get brought in here to do an interview or stuff like that. And that's just, I tell you, that's something that we've never done before. We've done it this year, and I could not be more proud to be associated with these two guys I'm in here with at the offices of Bomb Squad Racing. We've been on 36 different spotter stands at tracks all over the United States, talking about the races that we've been in, talking about the races that we're going to be in. And I tell you guys, it was a pleasure to do it with you. It really was, and I appreciate you both.
Actually, I think there's 38, isn't there, Texan? As of right now?
Yeah, we did one preseason that was after the duels, and now we've done this one as well. So yeah, there should be about 38 of them up there, maybe 39. I'm not sure, but like Pocket said, it has been a pleasure, and I appreciate both of you guys coming on every week to help with this show. Pockets brings the flavor every single week. Larry,
I don't know what flavor it is.
Yeah, I just fumble around to give results. That's all I do.
Hey, you're a big help, Larry. You help me out every week in all the technical stuff. If I have a question, you're right there to be able to answer it. And going through and giving us that top 5, and your input is definitely been a bonus and a plus for the spotter stand. I appreciate both of you guys being here, and like Puckett said, I've enjoyed doing this all season long, and I can't wait to get another season. We're going to take a break over the holidays. We may throw in another one before the end of the AK series, to update you guys on where the points stand and how the Hangover 500 went. But we're definitely going to start it up again next season. Come Daytona, we're going to be as dedicated as we can and try to get in another 36 episodes for you guys next year.
Well, I can tell you this: it's been an absolute pleasure, and from all of us here, from us here at the spotter stand, and from everyone at Bomb Squad Racing, and for everyone that's tuned in, we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and hope that you find joy and love with your family over the holidays, and we really appreciate everybody that's been a part of this in 2018, and we look forward to making 2019 even better.
Yes.
Let's take a minute, like we do at the end of every show, and let's thank all of the great sponsors that we have here at BSR. First up, we want to thank Mark and Richard Heyman over at Drunken Cow Jerky. Also, Brian and Kathy Boyles from Boyles Trucking. Rick Craddock over at Real Tech LLC. BSR Scar from WLS Graphics. BSR RJ Rusty at the Medicine Chest Pharmacy. And BSR Tyler and Rhoda over at Hello Sunshine Hello. You've made it a great season for all of us here, all the great sponsors, all the great drivers, everybody that pitches in and does their part. It makes this the best place to race. And like I've said many times before, I'm going to say it again. You could not ask for a better group of people to come and race with every week than BSR.
Larry Texan, thank you very much. Everybody out there, Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, and I'd like to thank all the drivers that support us, because without them, we wouldn't do any of this. So, thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and one last shout out to the Rugrat, BSR Hot Rod's daughter, for all the work that she has put in the later half of this season, broadcasting all the races on the Bomb Squad Live racing page. We'd like to thank her. We really appreciate, everything that she's done.
Yes, she's been off the last couple nights. Dirt racing coverage may be a little limited. She's going to start pursuing a dirt career with us. So the dirt races may be a little lacked in videotaping here or there. But all the regular races are scheduled, as far as I know, to be live broadcasted by Rugrat. So
Yes, and
Look forward to that.
Trish is carrying on our tradition of diversity here with female drivers, because there's a little known fact that this league, one of the founders of this league was a female. So we welcome everyone here to this league if they're a great sportsman and everything like that. And we're proud to have Trish along with us. And you guys, what else can I say? Y'all have done a great job. I've just been glad to be a part of it, and I really appreciate y'all.
Yep, it's her first race in last night. Went pretty good, I thought, Pockets.
Yep, and congratulations to the 2018 champion of Bomb Squad Racing in all three series, our man BSR Texan, right here on the spotter stand with us.
Hey, one quick question to Texan. Does that change your goals going into next year, being you won all three? I mean, that's kind of tough to look at and say, well, I'm just going to repeat as champion.
No.
I mean, you got to have some realistic goals set, I would think.
Yeah, I do not have necessarily. I'm not going to set the bar that high. Like I've said several times before, I don't believe I'll be able to repeat that. My goal is just to show up and race and have a good time. And if I'm there at the end, then that's great. But that's my goal, is just to show up, just to have a good time and have some fun racing.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes, like me, I set my goal probably a little too high for me this year. I'm hoping to get top 5 all three series, which probably won't happen again, but got to put it somewhere.
I also want to mention and say hello to one of our past champions who has who's had some commitments that's got in the way of his love of sim racing, and that's the driver of the Drunken Cow Jerky Ghost number 096, our good friend Chevy Chase out there in San Diego, California. We sure miss you, Chevy. There's a big hole in this league that only you can fill, and we are all anxiously awaiting your return if things happen to be that way. And Merry Christmas to you, brother.
Yes, Chevy. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Good job. Good job, Texan, on the championship. And I want to say thanks for letting me race last night. And yes, I will be broadcasting for you.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, with that, I'd like to just say thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched us live. All the great drivers. Thank you, Pockets. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Trish. And we're out of here. We will see you guys next time on the spotter stand.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.